Good morning, all. Let us see the next examples, uh, including all the types of examples. That is, to find the Fourier transform. Mixed examples we will see here in this video. To find the Fourier transform, or to find the transform by using Parseval identity. To then Fourier integral transformation. So further, we will see the mixed examples. So respective formula we have to use. So the next example is, find the Fourier transform of fx given by fx equal to a square minus x square where mod x less than a. You know the mod x meaning, and otherwise it is 0 when mod x greater than a. Hence prove that the hence part is given. This integration is equal to, we have to prove is equal to pi by 4. So this example is same as the previous one. We have studied the previous example, same type of example. So this is your example. Find the Fourier transform of fx. Instead of a square minus x square, we have given fx equal to 1 minus x square. Instead of a, we have given, in previous example, there is 1. And in hence part, sine term is first. The sequence is only changed, that is x cos x minus sin x. Instead of this, we have to prove that sin x minus x cos x upon x cube is same here, x cube. And again, in previous example we want in hence part, in integration we want cos term, and in this hence part we don't want the cos term here. So how to prove the hence part? Let us see. In previous example, we find the Fourier transform of this example, 1 fx equal to 1 minus x square where mod x less than or equal to 1. That is, x is in between minus 1 to 1 and mod x greater than 1 when x is in between 1 to infinity and minus infinity to minus 1. So it is negligible because the fx is here 0. So we don't need to take this fx value as 0 because we get the 0 integration. So hence consider only first value, that is 1 minus x square. So for this Fourier transform of fx, we have this formula, f of fx equal to fs integration from minus infinity to infinity fx e raised to I sx dx. Then we substitute fx here from minus 1 to 1, replace these limits by minus 1 to 1. This limit is 0 and again this limit is going to 0. Only we have to simplify or evaluate this integration. So this integration, here exponential function, and there is a product of two terms, exponential function and algebraic function. So this is your first by Lie sequence, this is your u function, first function, and exponential comes last, that is e letter comes last in Lie sequence. So this is your last function, that is v function, and you can use here uv rule. Or there is one another method we have introduced in previous lectures, that is to find the answer of integration or to evaluate the integration. There is one extra method we have studied in this chapter, that is Fourier transform, that is even odd concept. So this already you have studied, this uv rule. So you can use in roughly, you can evaluate this integration by using this uv rule method. And I want to tell you the new method, that is even odd concept. So here for even odd concept, we have to split, or we have to use the e raised to I theta formula. So e raised to I theta formula is, here theta is sx, so e raised to I theta is cos theta plus I sin theta. So here we used for e raised to I theta formula for simplifying this, and we get the cos sin term. Then we split this integration in two integrations, this bracket into cos term plus this bracket into I sin x term, and then this second integration is going to 0 because this squaring term is always even function and sine term is always odd function. So e into odd is plus minus is minus, that is odd function. So odd functions integration is always 0. So only simplify this first integration by using uv rule. Here uv rule is you can use, and this is the simpler one than this. So here use uv rule and we get the fs value. Now to hence part, there is only one term. Numerator is in subtraction form and denominator is in x cube, that is single term. So here we get the two terms. So how to get the single term? We have to take the cross multiplication, because in hence part there are two methods you have studied, that is Parseval identity and inverse transform formulae. So first, while we ask the such type of example, first attempt the method, or first try the method inverse Fourier transform formulae, and then if that inverse formula fails, to get the hence part, in roughly you have to calculate that calculation you have to do. And if that inverse formula fails to get the hence function, this function, then try the second method, that is Parseval identity. So here for hence part we use the inverse Fourier transform formula, because in first half part we use the Fourier transform formula. So for finding the hence part we use inverse Fourier transform formula. So is we have that type of function in this inverse formula. So this is your inverse formula. Put the fs value here and take the cross multiplication. And take -4 outside, because we want cos term first. By comparing the hence part function, we have to adjust the function inside the integration in the hence part calculation. So by comparing the hence part, the cos term is first, then sin term. So we get the cos term first, then sin term, but cos term is positive here. Cos term is positive, hence take minus sign outside. So we get cos term first and then sin term, and denominator is s cube by taking the cross multiplication. So here we are on the right track, that is we are using here inverse Fourier transform formula, which is correct, because by taking only cross multiplication we get the hence part function. Only we want here cos term, so that will be we will get in the further steps. So here in cross multiplication we get the function, and into there is a cos term. So for cos term we get exponential function, but in cos term we want but in hence part we want cos term. So how to get cos term? So put here formula, e raised to minus I theta formula we have to apply here. So e raised to minus I theta formula is cos theta plus I sin theta. E raised to minus I theta is, just take here minus sign in middle of these two terms. So cos theta minus I sin theta is your e raised to minus I theta formula. So use here e raised to minus I theta, theta is here sx. So e raised to minus I theta we get cosine term, then we split this function as this bracket into cos term minus this bracket into I sin x term, and then we prove that this sine term is your odd function, and that integration, here we splitted this integration into two terms, this bracket into cos term minus this bracket into I sin x term, and we get this second integration is going to 0, because this function and this sine function is always odd, and this function we roughly calculated that calculation, that this function we got the odd function. So odd in so we roughly calculated this function is your even function, and this is always odd function, this is your property, and even into odd is odd, so this integration is 0 by the even odd formula. So hence we get only cos term, and in that here we get cos sx. So and in hence part we want cos x by 2, and upon term is x cube. Here we get upon term is s cube. So replacement is necessary, that we have to use the substitution as s equal to x. So we get this term in the form of x term, which is your hence part function, first hence part function. And for cos term, if we put the s equal to x, so here we get cos x into x, cos x into x, but we want here cos x by 2. Hence put s equal to x, and originally here x equal to 1 by 2. So we get s equal to x and x equal to 1 by 2. So we get cos x by 2. That is your substitution. We get the hence part, required hence part function. Then these limits are not matched, because in hence part we want 0 to infinity limits, and here we get the minus infinity to infinity limits. So how to change this? So this is this function should be even function. So in roughly you can see that this is your even function. Here we check that, and cos term is always even function. So even into even is even. So this limits are changed as 2 times 0 to infinity. So we get the hence part. So by comparing the hence part function, we get the calculative steps, and by seeing that hence part function, we use the changes, so that we get the hence part function. Now this is your next example, which is same as this. So here find the Fourier transform of this function. Take the reference of this example and find the Fourier transform. So we use Fourier transform of fx. This is your formula. Then put the value of fx, and here in both the examples, here I have used the even odd concept, and now in this example I will show the not even odd concept directly. We used here UV rule. So you can use any method to find this right side integration. So here we use the UV rule directly, or you can use the even out concept. For even out concept, you have to replace that e raised to I theta by cos theta plus I sin theta. That is, you have to convert this e exponential function into cosine function, and then use the even out concept by seeing this example. Now here I will show you the UV rule. So UV rule is very much known to you, and we have many times used this rule in previous example. So in detail of that UV rule, you can check the previous videos. So here we use the UV rule, and we get this answer. But to find the hence part, in hence part the sin cos terms contains, this hence part contains the sin cos term, and this is your fs value, and we have to put this fs value, which is in exponential function. We have to find the hence part, first try the inverse formula. Inverse formula is this, and in inverse formula we used to put this fs value, which we got in first half part. So this is your fs value in the form of exponential function. But fs value, we don't want the exponential function in this inverse formula, because hence part doesn't contain exponential function, it contains the sin cos term. Hence we have to first simplify this fs value in the form of cosine terms. So by using these two formulae, cos theta and sin theta formulae. So here we use these two formulae. Irrespective of that, we merge these two terms. Which two terms? First and third, and second and last, so that we can use this cos theta and sin theta formulae, and we get the cosine terms in fs value, and put this cosine function, which is your fs value, in the inverse formula, and take the cross multiplication. We get the hence part, half hence part function. Sin cos function upon s cube, sin cos function upon x cube. Here we get s cube, so you can replace this by using substitution as s equal to x. So we get this function. But in this example, only this function we want in hence part, not the e raised to term. Hence we have to vanish this e raised to term by using the substitution. What is that substitution? Put x equal to 0 here. So e raised to minus 0 is 1. So we get f0 equal to sin as minus as cos as upon s cube ds. And then here we have fx equal to, we have to put the value of f0. So as originally in example fx is a square minus x square, so f0 is a square minus 0 square, that is a square. So put here 0 a square value, that is f0 value, take 2 by pi on left side, and these limits are from minus infinity to infinity, and we want here 0 to infinity. So how to change the limits? We have to use the even odd concept. So this is your even function, and we have to calculate this even function calculation in roughly. So in roughly, use the even odd concept, which we have used in previous examples. In many examples we use this even odd concept, and we have showed that this function is even or this function is odd. So use that trick or use that formula and prove that, in roughly prove that this function is even function. So by using the even odd concept, this is your even function, and if the function is even, the limits are changed to 2 times 0 to infinity. Then this is your integration in s variable, we want in x variable, so replace that s by x. So we get sin ax minus as cos ax upon x cube dx. Now here we want only sin x, and here we get sin ax, hence we have to put here a equal to 1. So it is very easy, the hence part. Just see the hence part function, and irrespective of that function, we have to change this, we have to change the steps. So here in this hence part doesn't contain e raised to function, so vanish this e raised to function by putting x equal to 0. Then change the limits, because here limits are 0 to infinity, so using even concept, change the limits. And then here sin x is term, so we got here sin ax, so put here a equal to 1, so we get the hence part answer. Next example, this is your assignment. As I already sent the assignments to you on WhatsApp group. So this is again your assignment, only just we have to find the Fourier sine transform. Then the next is Fourier cosine transform of e raised to minus a square x square, hence evaluate that. In evaluation of hence part, there are 3 terms we have given. So let us see one by one. So first we have to find the Fourier cosine transform of e raised to minus a square x square. So this type of function, this type of function or this type of example we have studied in previous example. So here we want Fourier cosine transform. So this is your formula. Fourier cosine transform is 0 to infinity fx cos sx dx. Put here fx value. Fx is your e raised to minus a square x square given function. Then here there is a product of two functions, cos term and exponential. Exponential comes last, so this is your v function and this is your u, obviously. But we can't use the here uv rule or Liet rule, because in uv rule the derivative of u should be 0 at further steps, or at any further steps we should get the derivative of u as 0. But in cos function is doesn't get you derivative as 0, so hence we can't use here uv rule. And then does also Liet rule also fails, because in Liet rule first function into integration of second, that is u into integration of v. So in integration of v we can't solve this integration directly, or we can't use the direct formula for finding the integration of this, because or you can't use the e raised to bracket formula here, or e raised to bracket integration, because in power this is your b and here variable is x, and here we get x square, that is power is 2, and e raised to bracket in bracket formula for particularly in integration, the bracket meaning is containing only x raised to 1 power equation only. Then only we can use the, or you can apply the bracket formula for integration. B means containing only x raised to 1 power equation. Just for that we can use the bracket formula. And here x has power 2, so we can't use the, or we can't find the integration of this second function. So hence Liet rule fails. So use the third Third method we have also studied in previous lecture, that is, if UV rule fails, then use or then try the LEAT rule. If both the methods fail, then use the DIS rule. So here DIS rule is, consider here variable is x, so other letter is s, so this is you can assume as constant. So consider is equal to 0 to infinity, this given integration equation number 1. Then take the integration, take the derivative on both sides, so, with respect to s. So I derivative is di by ds in notation 0 to infinity, and take the derivative of this inside this function with respect to s, and with respect to s, this e raised to minus a square x square is constant, because in DIS rule what we take the derivative of this inside function, that is your partial derivative, and this derivative is with respect to s, so other variables are just we have to assume as constant. So with respect to s, e raised to minus a square x square constant, and this is in multiplicative form, take as it is, because that is your rule. In derivative or integration, whatever the constant you assume or whatever the constants are given in multiplicative form, you have to just keep as it is, and then for remaining function you can apply the rule of derivative or integration. So e raised to minus a square x square is in multiplicative form, which is constant with respect to x, so write as it is, and remaining function is cos sx, and take the derivative of this cos sx only with respect to s. So cos derivative is, use cos b derivative formula. Cos b derivative is sin b into derivative of b. So cos sx derivative is sin sx into derivative of sx with respect to s is x. Now after applying the DIS rule, the right side integration we have to we can solve. After applying DIS rule, we can solve the right side integration by using the regular method, but here there is a problem that there is a product of three terms. For applying the regular method, that is the UV rule or LEAT rule, we want the two terms only, two terms in product form. So here three terms are there, so merge the two terms together and convert these three terms into two terms, as take minus, or you can keep as it is minus outside. So minus e raised to minus exponential function into x, take this together and sine term as it is separately, and use the UV rule, use the LEAT rule. So here this is your exponential function but together with algebraic function, but consider this is your adjustment, just solve the integration. So this is your exponential function, you have to remember that adjustment. This type of example we have to solve by this method only. So merge these two terms together and sine term separately and use the LEAT rule. So this type of example we have solved in previous lectures. Same example, only there will be e raised to minus x square or e raised to minus x square by 2, e raised to minus squaring term. This type of examples are very important, because if you study the one example, then you can solve the same type of examples in same steps, because the method is same for all type of this type of examples, e raised to minus square term. So here use the LEAT rule. So for LEAT rule, first function into integration of second, first u into integration of v minus integration of v into derivative first. So integration of v we can calculate separately. So integration of e raised to minus a square x square into x, take this minus sign aside. So for that, for integration of v, use the substitution method. So put a square x square equal to t, so that after taking the derivative, a square as it is, which is constant, x square derivative is 2x dx is equal to t derivative is dt. So this x dx is also there. So that is your substitution method. So you have to take the particular function as other variable, so that after taking the substitution, whatever we get the equation or whatever we get the terms, that terms should be present in that integration. That is, we use a square x square equal to t, so that after taking the derivative x dx is also present in this integration. So this is your right substitution. So convert this integration in terms of t variable. So integration of e raised to minus t x dx is dt upon 2a square. X dx is dt upon 2x square. So here e raised to minus t x dx is dt upon 2a square. So 1 upon 2a square is constant, and e raised to minus t integration is e raised to minus t upon minus 1. That is minus 1 upon 2a square e raised to minus t. And put t here. So minus 1 upon 2a square e raised to minus a square x square. You can use the substitution method, or you can just remember this formula. Integration of e raised to f into f dash is e raised to f. So here e raised to minus a square x square derivative. So here whatever the power in this exponential function f, its derivative also in the product form. So here f is your minus a square x square. So its derivative is minus a square is constant, as it is x derivative is 2x. So minus 2a square x should be present in product form with this. So here x is only present, minus 2x square, 2a square is not there in this equation. So how to use this formula directly? So adjust this minus 2a square, which is constant. So we want here minus 2a square, multiply and dividing by minus 2a square. So this integration is e raised to f into f dash. Minus a square x square derivative is minus 2a square x. So now you can use this formula e raised to f. So this adjusted 1 upon minus 2a square, 1 upon minus 2a square, or minus 1 upon 2a square as it is, remain as it is. And this integration is e raised to f, that is e raised to minus a square x square, e raised to minus a square x square. So by using substitution or using this direct formula, we get the integration of e. So put this value in the Elliott rule. So first function into integration of second, put the limits from 0 to infinity minus 0 to infinity as it is, integration of second, write this term as it is, into derivative of first. So sin sx derivative is cos sx into sx derivative is s. Use sin b formula. Sin b derivative is cos b into derivative of b with respect to x, because this integration is with respect to x. So cos sin sx derivative is cos sx into sx derivative with respect to x is s. Now put infinity. So sin infinity is your finite value. Remember this property, or remember as a formula. E raised to minus infinity, these limits are for x. So e raised to minus infinity is always 0. So for upper limit this term is 0, and for lower limit sin 0 is 0, e raised to minus 0 is 1. This is your finite value, but sin 0 is 0. So for lower limit and upper limit we get the 0 value. And this is your, by taking constant value outside, minus s upon 2a square, integration from 0 to infinity e raised to minus a square x square cos sx dx. And this is your original example. And in DOS rule we get the original example at the right side always. So these are the typical steps in DOS rule. So this is your I, put here I, because I, you can take IS or I. This is your original example or original integration. So put here I. So minus s upon 2a square I. And solve this integration by using variable separable form. So for variable separable form, here di, so take ds on left side because differentials should be on numerator. This is your rule for variable separable form. So di already in numerator, so take ds in numerator as, take this ds on right side. So we get the ds in numerator. And then with di, take the I equation. So take this I on left side. So di upon I is equal to minus s upon 2a square ds. And with ds there is always, there is of course already there is a s term on right side with ds. So, and this is your variable separable form. How to solve this? Just take the integration. So 1 upon I integration is with respect to I, log I is equal to minus 1 upon 2a square constant as it is, right as it is, and s integration is s square by 2 plus, as the left side is in log function, so take the constant, integrating constant as in terms of log. So take log c, then log I and log c, take log c on left side, so log I minus log c, that is log I by c is equal to this term. So I by c equal to, eliminate this log function by taking e raised to, so I by c equal to e raised to minus s square upon 4a square, I equal to c into e raised to minus s square by 4a square. So this is your I value, means is value. So it contains the unknown constant, that is c. We have to put the actual value of c, then we can get the final solution of is. So for that, finding c, put s equal to 0 here. So I0 equal to e raised to minus 0 is 1. So I0 equal to c. But again we get the c value as unknown value. So I0. So how to find I0? So here from equation 1. So here is equal to this. So I0 is, that is we have to put s equal to 0. So I0 equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus a square cos 0 is 1 dx. So we get I0 equal to, from equation 1, 0 to infinity e raised to minus a square dx. So this is again same integration we get here, but only exponential function. So use here substitution method. Put a square equal to t. So x square equal to t by a square, x equal to root t by a. Take the derivative on both sides, a square as it is, x square derivative is 2x dx, t derivative is dt. So dx equal to, take this on left side, dt upon 2a square x. And we have to convert this integration, whole integration in terms of t. So this x we have to convert into t. So dt upon 2a square as it is, and x value is root t upon a. Root t upon a, in numerator it will be a upon root t. So dx is in terms of t as dt upon this 1a get cancelled. So dt upon 2a root t. Put this 0 to infinity, as these are the limits for x. So put the limits for t. So put x equal to 0 here, we get t 0. Put x equal to infinity, we get t equal to infinity square, that is infinity. So the t limits are 0 to infinity e raised to minus t. Dx value is dt upon 2a root t. So 1 upon 2a take outside. 0 to infinity e raised to minus t. Take root t on numerator, t raised to half, take on numerator as t raised to minus half dt. And to find this integration, use this formula, gamma n. Gamma n is integration from 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 dx. That is, if x has power n minus 1, then take in gamma function only n. That is, we have to, in power of x, that is in n minus 1, we have to add plus 1, so that minus 1 plus 1 get cancelled and we get n here. That is, whatever the power of x, we have to add plus 1 to that power. So we get gamma n. So here gamma n equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 dx. If there is a n minus 1, so we have to take here n. So for that, whatever the power here, we have to take the plus 1 in that power. So we get minus 1 plus 1 get cancelled, only n we get. So that n we want here in the function of gamma. So here e raised to minus x, x raised to power is minus half. So add plus 1, so 1 minus half is half. So we get gamma half. This integration has the value gamma half, and gamma half has the fixed value, that is root pi upon this 2a as it is. So I0 value is root pi upon 2a. I0 means c value is root pi upon 2a. Put this value c here. We get the I is equal to root pi upon 2a e raised to minus a square by 4s. So in this example, after using the Fourier cosine transform formula, we use the DOS rule. Then for finding the right side integration, we merge the two terms together, exponential function and x, and use the Lie rule. In Lie rule, for finding the integration of v, we use this formula or we use the substitution method. For minimum calculation, you can remember this formula. So for this formula, we adjust this minus 2a square and use this formula, and find the, by using the Lie rule, we get this right side as the original example, that is I value, and by variable separable form, we get the I value in terms of c. And for finding c, we put the s equal to 0. We get c value as I0 and we find the I0 value from equation 1, original example. And in that we get the I0 equal to integration, and that integration we solve by the substitution method. And in that substitution method we get this integration which we can evaluate by direct formula gamma n. So in this one example there are many formulae comes, so you have to remember as it is. So this integration we can solve by this gamma n formula. So we get the is value finally. Then in this example we want the Fourier sine transform. Hence under this hence part we have to find this 3 terms. In exam we don't ask the 3 terms in one example. You can ask the find Fourier cosine transform with first part, find Fourier cosine transform with second part, or find Fourier cosine transform and hence find the third part. In that way in exam we ask the question. So for finding the Fourier sine transform, what is that? To find sine transform of x e raised to minus a square, that is, or you can take this second first because it is easy, and first and third. So we get Fourier cosine transform of this function and we want in hence part Fourier cosine transform of e raised to minus x square by 2. So as we find Fourier of e raised to minus a square by x square is, Fourier cosine transform of e raised to minus a square by x square is this answer, and we want Fourier cosine transform of e raised to minus x square by 2. So what is the change? So what is the change in that? If we replace this a square by 1 by 2, then we get directly e raised to minus x square by 2 cosine transform, because in hence part we are not evaluating the integration, just using the trick or using the hint from first half part answer we get the hence part answer. So in this in first half part we get Fourier cosine of this function, so we want Fourier cosine of this minus x square by 2. So what we have to change here? Put s square equal to 1 by 2. We get Fourier cosine of x minus x square by 2 as it is, root pi upon, put a square equal to 1 by 2 means a equal to 1 by root 2 and a equal to 1 by root 2, and take the reciprocal 1 by equal to root 2. So here 1 by a value is root 2. So root pi upon 2 as it is, 1 by a value is root 2, e raised to minus s square upon 4, a square value is 1 by 2. So this 1 by 2 on numerator take as 2 by 1. So 2 upon 4 get cancelled, we get minus s square by 2. So this is your answer of Fourier cosine transform of e raised to minus x square by 2, that is second part. Then in first and third we want Fourier sine transform. So this is your formula, because by in first half part we find the Fourier cosine and in hence part we ask the Fourier sine transform. So how to get from cosine transform to sine transform answer? So there is one formula extra we have to remember. Fourier sine transform of x f(x) equal to minus derivative with respect to s of Fourier cosine of f(x). If we have the Fourier cosine of f(x) and you take the derivative of that Fourier cosine of f(x) answer with minus sign, we get the Fourier sine transform of x into f(x). So here in first half part we get Fourier cosine of f(x). So here now we see the first part, e raised to minus a square by x square Fourier cosine we have. To find Fourier sine transform of x into that f(x) function. So this is your f(x) and we want Fourier sine of x into f(x). So Fourier sine of x into f(x), f(x) value is your e raised to minus a square by x square. So put here fx value x into e raised to minus x square is equal to minus d by ds. Fourier cosine of fx. Fx is your e raised to minus a square x square. Fourier cosine of e raised to minus a square. So here Fourier cosine of e raised to minus a square by x a square into x square. We get that first half part answer. This is your first half part answer. Put this answer here, root pi by 2a e raised to minus s square by 4a square. So by using this formula, in her first half part, we have this answer, Fourier cosine of fx. Just Fourier cosine of fx. This is your fx value. So put this fx value here. So x into e raised to minus s square. And this is your asked hence part. Fourier sine transform of x into e raised to minus s square x square. X into e raised to minus s square x square. This is your hence Fourier sine transform of x into e raised to minus a square x square, hence part. So put here first half part answer, Fourier cosine of e raised to minus a square x square. Answer is this. Put here and take the derivative with minus sign. So minus root pi upon 2a, take outside which is multiplicative constant, write as it is. So d by ds of e raised to minus a square by 4a square. So here use e raised to bracket formula for derivative. So e raised to b is e raised to b into derivative of b. So e raised to b is your this whole power. So e raised to b derivative is e raised to b into derivative of b. So minus s square by 4a square. This is your b value. So what is the derivative of this? So minus 1 upon 4a square, which is multiplicative constant, keep as it is and take derivative of only s square. So s square derivative is 2 is. Simplify this. 2 by 4 is 2. So minus s upon 2a square. Minus s upon 2a square. And with this, minus root pi upon 2a, and this is minus s upon 2a square. So in merge these two numbers, so minus minus plus root pi upon 4a cube, s as it is, and this exponential function. This is your first half part. Then in third, Fourier sine transform of x into e raised to minus x square by 2. So this third half part, third hence part, we can find by this first answer. So here in this first answer, we get Fourier sine transform of x into e raised to minus x square by x square into x square is equal to this answer. And we want Fourier sine of x into e raised to minus x square by 2. So compare these two. We have this answer for this function and we want this function. Same sine transform is there. Sine transform is asked. So just replace a square by 1 by 2. So we get in this first answer, first hence part answer, replace only a square by 1 by 2. We get the third hence part answer. So replace a square by 1 by 2. We get x into e raised to minus x square by 2 equal to root pi upon a square is here 1 by 2. And a is 1 by root 2. So a cube is your a square into a. Root pi upon 4 as it is. A cube split into two terms. A square value a square into a. A square is 1 by 2. A is 1 by root 2. Into s as it is e raised to minus s square by 4. A square value is 1 by 2. Simplify this. Root pi upon 4 1 by 2 1 by root 2. So 4 by 2 is 2. Again 2 by root 2 is 2 means root 2 into root 2. So remaining is root 2 by cancelling root 2 from this. So root pi upon root 2, merge this root. So root pi upon root 2 is root pi by 2. S as it is e raised to minus s square. 4 by 2 is 2. So e raised to minus s square by 2. So this is your answer of third hence part. So in this example, by using cosine transform formula and by using the Lie rule, we get the cosine transform answer. Then for evaluating second half part, because second hence part is similar to this cosine. In this first half part, we have the cosine transform answer and we want cosine transform answer in the second hence part. So we use this formula and we find the Fourier cosine transform second hence part by putting the a square equal to 1 by 2 here. In this cosine transform answer, we get the second hence part. In first hence part, how to get this? We use the formula. This is your formula. In that, fx is your e raised to minus a square x square. As it is, we have to use e raised to minus x square, a square into x square is your fx. Put here value, and Fourier cosine of e raised to minus a square x square is, we have the in first half part. That is your answer. Put here and take the derivative, we get this first half part answer. And for third half part answer, because in first half part we get the sine transform answer, and in third half part again we ask the sine transform. So in that, by using first hence part answer, we got the third hence part answer. By putting in this first hence part answer, we put a square equal to 1 by 2, we get the third hence part answer. Thank you.